Hello? Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing, testing. Hello, thank you for joining the next Q&A for the IDP Top 10 program. I hope that today you can hear me okay. If not, please send me a question. If everybody's ready, thank you first of all for joining at this early hour. No, I'm still tired as well. Like I said last time, there is about 20-second delay in when I am talking and when you can send a question. So you're seeing me a little bit later. Please send in your questions through the Q&A feature. If you click at the top right, I think, up there should be an icon where you can click Q&A. If you click on that, it asks you to ask a question, so you can easily submit it. And those of you who joined last time will already know how that works. Okay, so we'll start with some of the questions that Johanna Talbot has sent in. She's really active, so please follow her lead here. So what exactly do we have to deliver is the first question. So first of all, this month was all about images. As you know, Q2 is focusing on optimizing the content of a website. So the three components there that we are normally dealing with are the text, the images, and the videos. The first month was about text, optimizing text and focusing on the user. The next part is now about images, and the third one will be about videos. For this month, images. What I wanted you to do is to look at the images and optimize them from an SEO perspective. And secondly, of course, looking at what kind of images that you could provide. So that's a voluntary option, but I still wanted to give you the guidance in the old spirit of focusing on the user. Now, what you have to do is go through the steps that are posted on Astra and then make a list of the images or pages with images that you are going to optimize first. As last month, please submit that list to me by the end of the month. Don't worry if you're a little bit late, that's still okay. But please submit that list, and in the DGI will record whether there has been a list or not. At the end of the year, we'll audit if all of the improvements have been implemented. So you really have until the end of the year to do all that, and don't worry, if you're late, just let me know. Hello, Afio. Morning to you too. Next question. Oh, when do we have to submit this by? Like I said, at the end of the month, please send me a list of the pages with images that you are going to optimize. Later this week or next week, I'll be sharing a list that the team from Italy have created. It's a really helpful checklist, and maybe you want to use that as an example for yourselves as well. So yeah, kudos to the Italy team there. do I really have to change the file names of all my photos? Somebody's annoyed there. So ideally, yes, you should always have descriptive file names. The reason for that is that robots, and I think I mentioned that before, robots can't see images. So just imagine somebody who doesn't see what's on a photo, still needs to know what's on there. So the reason for that is also back in the days when the internet was really slow, sometimes images wouldn't load because you had like a dial-up connection or something like that. And if that didn't load, then people should still know what's on that site in order to have the full experience. That's why back then it was recommended to have an alt description or alternative description for a photo to know what could be seen on that photo, as well as a descriptive file name. And that's useful in so many different ways. For one, imagine yourself if you're looking for a file and you haven't chosen a descriptive file name, but something like 0036. How are you ever going to know what was on that file without clicking on that? So it's also helping yourself. And then the next is really, if you want to get your images found on search engines, then you really need to choose descriptive file names. Even if somebody is searching in images, like Google Images, what they're doing is it's a semantic search. They're using words to search for it. At the end of the day, search comes down to having the right words or keywords that match a query. And that's why it's really important to have something really descriptive, so that if somebody searches for an image, Google can match your image with that query. You probably know that cute dogs or cute cats is a very popular phrase, but if that file was called 0036, people still wouldn't find it. So back to the question, do you really have to change all the file names? I know that's a really tough job, especially with older images. So I guess legacy images that are 5 years old, they probably have a really weird file name, and they're probably from the Starwood asset library. So with those, I get that it's difficult and you don't want to change a million images. However, moving forward, probably you don't want to have 5-year-old or 10-year-old images on your website anyway. And I know from brand.com, I think you have to change them every 5 years. So when it comes to the time, please do make sure that those images will be named correctly. And then if you can, the important images, just have a think about it yourself. Which images can you change? And which images are important? So those I would recommend uploading. If they are like hidden deep in the photo gallery, then yeah, maybe don't worry about it. I know that in the Italy team, they are having to change all the images, I think, because they just want to do it properly. So yeah, if you want to, please go ahead. If not, change the important ones. That's why you have to submit that list. Sorry, I just had a question from Ross. Ross, if you can hear me, yes, we have started already. Maybe that's why nobody's listening today. So I guess we'll just pick another one from my list then. I can't change the image size. What should I do? So a little bit of background about image size. As you know, if you have an image that's been taken by a professional photographer, it's probably really high res, and the resolution is too big for web use. That's the one part. If you have a big file size, as in lots of bytes, that slows down the page speed of your website, or the page load speed. So it's really it's recommended that you choose small bite-sized images. Normally, if you save an image, you can select whether you want it. So on your computer, if you save an image, you can select whether you want it optimized for web or not. You can also use editing programs to change the size of an image. And then the next part is cropping the image. So as you know, you can now crop images in the Live CMS asset manager, which is a different one than the Starwood asset library. In there, you can change the size. However, there you have to be careful. At the moment, if you change anything properties of an image in the asset manager, you can't, if you save it, the image size increases as in the file size. So that slows down the page load speed. I've asked Web Canada to change that. And very soon, hopefully, the images will be compressed for web use. So then that's fine. For now, you have to be really careful. Please, until you hear otherwise from me, resize images on your computer and upload them in the asset library. Otherwise, you'll end up with really big images and really slow websites. And in fact, we had somebody from Google do a recommendation the other day, and he also said image compression would be a really big step in increasing the page load speed of our website and increasing the quality as well. On that note, there's some great news that I'd like to share with you at this moment. I'll be posting that on Astra as well a bit later. But as you know, there's been lots of technical errors that our websites have. For example, images aren't indexed, videos aren't indexed, and so forth. What else? We don't have no follow links. So we asked Web Canada to make us a proposal to fix all those. And the great news is that we were able to do that outside the normal LPS pipeline that we have with Web Canada. So in the LPS pipeline, if you want any changes done, you have to submit it, and then there's a big load of things that all of the different divisions submit. So I think if we wanted anything done, that would have been implemented after we had the new website. But the great news is that we can do that outside this pipeline, which means that hopefully by end of August, they didn't say which year, but hopefully this year, we will have a lot of those technical errors fixed. I will share this on Astra, and there's also going to be an update that we'll share later. By the way, mentioning Astra, moving forward, all important announcement about IDP top 10, and I think, well, Doriana probably as well, and for sure Ryan and Kadrina also will post anything that is important on, they will post that on Astra. So please make sure that you kind of keep visiting that on a regular basis. There's a question from Camille. Thank you, Camille, for your contribution. Do we have to create an image sitemap in Google Webmaster Tools for each of our websites? If so, do I have guidelines? No, the great news is that Web Canada have implemented something that whereby image sitemaps are supposed to be created automatically, so you don't need to worry about it. If you find there's any faults with the sitemap that is being created automatically, please do let me know. They did receive the W3 guidelines for the web markup. I think there are some mistakes that they have been asked to fix, at least for the normal XML sitemap. So yeah, if you find any faults there, please do let me know, and we can ask them to fix that as part of that SEO errors. Next question from Afio. Regarding the new version of the LPS, shall we wait till the migration is done, or will all the data be migrated? In our last migration, we had to re-enter the data into the homepage. That's a great question. However, I have to get back to you on that. So from our side in EMI, Ryan is spearheading that project, but this is a detail I'm unsure about. Either way, I think wait until something official is being announced, because as far as I know, it will take until at least the end of the year until we see anything happening about the LPS. At the moment, there is a pilot underway where we're testing it. Oh yeah, so sorry. Ryan was just answering that question. Thank you, Ryan. And hi. So the new version for the IDP for this year is one page only. It's only the homepage. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Next question. So by the way, if you do have any unrelated questions, please send them as well if you want to. That's fine. I'll try and answer as much as I can. So the next question, surprise from me again. But I can't change the description of all the images. What should I do? So yeah, as I mentioned in the top 10 article on Astra that hopefully you'll have read by now since you just heard about it. Like I said, robots can't see images. That's why it's important to provide a description using words so that the search query that is put in with using words or text, not images, can be matched to anything that is not an image. So we have to describe what is on an image in order to be able to match that to any query. The best practice, as you'll also see in the link that I provided where Matt Katz explains what an alt is, the best practice is to have a descriptive file name, an alternative description, as well as just context that also explains what the image is about. And ideally, you'd also have a landing page that tells everything about it. Now, that's the top standard. And obviously, it's impossible to adhere to that for every single image on a website. However, where you can, you should definitely have the descriptive file name. So that's something that you can always do. And then the next one is the alternative description. In the page layout builder, you are able to add that already. Where you can't, I think in a photo gallery, you can just add a photo description. That's also being found in search engines. And also as part of the SEO technical errors package that Web Canada are doing for us, they will add that functionality so that you can add an alt description everywhere. So once we have that in place, please do make sure that moving forward, definitely you have to have an alt desk for every photo that you upload, with the exception perhaps of banners, offer banners, but then that's something that you might want to be able to for people to find in search engine as well. But yeah, the new standard will be to have that for every new photo that you upload. And as much as you can, you should retrofit that as well, if possible. So yeah, and then for right now, if you can't add an alt desk, make sure that definitely the file name is very descriptive. And if there's any other context that you can provide for that image, like a caption or a page title or whatever, then please make sure that's the case. Here's one from the German team. Good morning. Regarding our concierge subsites that you've created, there are a lot of SEO issues. Are there still improvements going on? We still have a lot of H1 tags, but that's only on the concierge site itself. Okay, so yeah, great that you mentioned H1 tags. That's also part of the package that Web Canada are going to do in terms of SEO improvements. Moving forward, there will only be one H1 tag per page in order to fix that. What exactly that means for you and how you have to maybe change H1 tags around, we'll see, but I think that you guys did everything right, and that's just an error in template. But then once we have only one H1 tag, please make sure that the main headline is really SEO friendly. That means the headline should really describe what this page is about, and the page should be about something that is also SEO optimized. So in closing the circle, you should provide useful content and something that your users would want to see, which you could have researched or could have found out about using keyword research, for example. At the end of the day, you'll also know what people want to see, but you should really make sure that this is something that people want to know about. Also regarding the main headline, it should be more general, and then the sub headlines can be more specific about the content. So the main headline could be about images, and then the subheadlines, or optimizing images is the main headline. And that's also something that people might search for. And then the subheadline could be something, one adding the alt description as a subheadline, and the next subheadline is choosing a descriptive file name or something like that. Or for your rooms, finding a great room, and then subheadlines could be the different room types. Another comment from Ryan about the concierge pages. So yeah, just a note, concierge pages are likely to be phased out in a new IDP design in favor of a page layout builder. Okay, so there you go. Germany again, okay. Are there any comments of Web Canada when we will have the different asset managers updated? At the moment, there's different versions of it on the meeting sites, restaurant sites, and the LPS. Thanks for identifying yourself, Ralph, by the way. So, no, there are no comments. At the moment, the SEO package that I mentioned from Web Canada is focusing on the LPS. So there's updates being made. Regarding anything, as you know, that's different platforms. So it's also individual development work that has to be done for every different platform if we want any change to be made. At the moment, we have the normal LPS pipeline, but they're focusing on, I think, the benefits part at the moment, and then there'll be this big Sheraton update coming that will probably take a lot of resource. So any changes to Asset Manager, the only one that I know about is file image size compression for LPS. However, we asked them, so at least for the SEO bits, any changes that I've made to the LPS should then be applied in a next step to the different other platforms. But unfortunately, we don't have a timeline for that. So Camille, would it be possible to create a new field in Asset Manager so that we could easily change the image file names? Yeah, great question. We haven't addressed that with them yet, but I know because the file renaming exercise would be quite big, I will definitely ask if it is possible. I don't know how easy or difficult that would be, because that might imply a lot of changes across the website. So I can't promise that they'd be able to do that, but I will ask the question, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible in Web Canada time. So please bear with me. So are there any other questions for now that you have? Last chance, Javi? Nope. Well, I hope that this time you were able to hear me okay. I wanted to bring some paper as well so I can write everything down I was saying, but I think that this time it was working out fine. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, and stay tuned for the next optimization bit. That will be videos being launched next week on Astra, so please make sure to stop by in Astra. And also, if you haven't seen the image bit and you only just noticed now that there's something new on there, I know it's quite hidden in the last page, so I'm having difficulties myself finding it. So one thing that you could do is bookmark the IDP top 10 bit in Astra. And I will add links to every new article there is. So you have that overview of the table and all the different deadlines and release dates. If you bookmark that page and you just keep revisiting that page, you'll find links to every new article there is about the IDP top 10. If you have only just seen the IDP top 10 image bit, then don't worry, it's fine. I'll extend the deadline to mid next month. And as you have asked a lot of changes to that, obviously, if you want to wait with the implementation of that, that's fine. As I said, it's enough for now to send me a list of things you want to optimize. There's a new question now from Ralph. Would be great if we if the asset manager could show where on the LPS site an image appears. Yeah, that's also a great feedback. I'll add that to the list, and I guess we'll have a new package just about the asset manager that Web Canada has to do. If you have any other improvements that you'd like to be made, again, I'm not making any promises about what can be done, but I'll certainly bring those different points to Web Canada, and then we'll just see what can be done. I think it's already great that they've been able to be able to make those other changes that quickly, and we never know. Miracles do happen, so maybe they can do all that. Yeah, so any other comments you have, if you have not been able to make them heard right now, because you didn't have time to join the Q&A, or because I was talking too quickly or whatever, you can always send me an email, or you can WhatsApp me. I do have a phone, and I normally tend to respond a bit quicker to WhatsApp, or just give me a call, whichever suits you best. Obviously, you can also send your comments in this Hangout. Or so yeah, there's lots of ways to get in touch. So please don't be shy, and just let me know. Any suggestions, comments, questions, just let me know anytime. I think on that note, yeah, we will be concluding this Hangout for today. Thank you very much for joining. You can revisit this page later and rewatch the Hangout. Apologies that there's not been any Easter eggs today. I've eaten all of them. Yeah, and then please join me next time. Thank you. Bye.